artistes, or
did
was
really
I
well,
way
yeah.
was I way off the mark?
Le Foyer des Artistes as a wee liaison. So that was really good.
No, it sounds much better coming from you, John. Anyway, how are you?
Well, I'm very well, and thank you very much for inviting me onto the program. I suppose a lot of your listeners will be wondering why the hell did I actually call this thing Le Foyer des Artistes? And I suppose language is really a very important part of culture. We know that also. It's amazing here throughout Ireland that even though a small a percentage of people speak Irish, that's important we preserve language for future generations. And with the European identity of our people, certainly I, who live in Switzerland, we have four national languages: Italian, French, German, and Romansh. So I wanted to choose something that was a little bit of inspiration for young people. And the word foyer is it's actually quite Irish, because it means fire, it means hearth. It's that welcoming thing. You go into every establishment, there's that big roaring fire. It's a welcoming point where people gather to come together, and it's in that spirit of a group of an ensemble of musicians who come together really with the energy that they all have to create magic and to be able to share it in a community. And so when I was thinking, where am I going to launch this, I thought no better place than in the fantastic St. Column's Hall. Yeah, in the centre of this magnificent walled city of Derry.
In Derry, yeah, and St. Colum's Hall. What does St. Colum's Hall mean to you?
Oh, it means an awful lot, because when I was a boy, I sung there, like many other people throughout the Northwest. I saw my first big show, first opera there. I saw a piece called The Rake's Progress by Stravinsky, which made an enormous impact on me, because I remember the experience of going into the hall through those big doors and seeing all the gold and red velvet, and thinking, oh, it's an amazing theatrical experience. So, it means a lot to me. And I've been away for a long period of time, and I know the hall had fallen into a state of disrepair, which was quite sad. But then I, just before COVID, had read about the restoration of the hall, that it's now in a trust and has received a significant amount of investment from the Heritage Lottery Fund. And amazingly, up until the point just the day before our first concert, the hall was put back to really a magnificent state, and the whole floor had been revealed, and it just looked magnificent. And I was delighted for the first time to be able to share a concert with the people throughout the city. Some people had never been to a concert like this before, and also to enjoy the reaction to it, because people are still to this day talking about that concert and the subsequent concerts which we have done.
Yeah, well, you've done a number of concerts there now. So to be back in the sort of restored, renovated St. Colum's, doing what you do best, how does it feel? And what sort of a venue is it to present a concert in?
It feels magnificent to finally be able to make my own home city part of my story, because you get to a certain point in life and you have wonderful experiences. But as I look towards the future, and I think what will be my biggest legacy, I think, that here is an enormous opportunity to be able to use my experience and all the wonderful people I've met throughout the world, and to be able to plug this into the place where I come from and share the beauty of Derry and also of Donegal, which is also, a very important part of my story, because it's basically where I grew up, and to share that with everybody throughout the world. And Derry and the Northwest is at a very exciting moment in its history. I think this is the most exciting moment, because there are many tech companies who are moving into Derry, and we are so lucky to have the support of the biggest companies in Derry. For example, Challenge Curve, Learning Pool, and especially Alchemy Technology. And John Harkin, who's the founder and CEO of Alchemy Technology, has now become our chairman. So that's really, really exciting for us. But about the hall also, there could be no better place to launch Le Foyer des Artistes, because it's the spirit of St. Columba. Columba is the figure, really, is the story which also binds Derry and Donegal together. It's that ancient story about shared cultural heritage, about about Irish people having a story for over 2,000 years about making culture, travelling around the world without fear and sharing it with other people. And it's also the story, really, which links Ireland and Switzerland, incidentally, too, because I'm not sure if people know, but there is even a city in Switzerland called St. Gallen, which was founded by the Irish monk Gallus, who was a contemporary of St. Columba. So that is an ancient story, but it's a modern story too, because that legacy of St. Columba continues to this day, and people will know if they visited Trinity College in Dublin that the Book of Kells, which is visited by thousands of people every day from all over the world was made by Columban monks. So it's that legacy, which is, I think, such an important part of our own heritage, and also for young children to understand that too. And it's really a new chapter in that story which we're opening.
Okay, you mentioned there some of the big tech companies that have supported this, and another supporter has been Yamaha, and they've done it in a unique way.
Absolutely. I mean, this is something beyond my wildest dreams. I mean, in year one, to be able to have this big vision and to get it off its feet is hard enough in itself. I mean, I've been, as I said, very lucky to have had the support of all the tech companies in Derry. Also, must say a special word of thanks to the Derry City Instrument District Council, who have also given headline funding from day one. Also, the Arts Council of Northern Ireland. Fleming Steel also. But yes, the Yamaha story, what I wanted to do in our second concert, which was to found an award which would really celebrate a couple of young musicians, who are starting off in their careers, because musicians, they don't just play instruments, they have a gift which they will they'll go out into the world, to travel around the world, and this gift will be shared with other people. They will change the lives of other people throughout the course of their lives. And so this is really part of the programming, and again, a continuation of the Columban story. But when I spoke to my contacts with Yamaha and through the story with Manchester and the UK and everything, they absolutely loved this. They loved the Columban story, the uniqueness of it, and they said they absolutely wanted to support. So in February they brought their newest piano, the CFX 2000, 2010, which has been endorsed by the London Symphony Orchestra. They brought it from London over on the ferry, right, not to Dublin, not to Belfast,
transported it over.
Absolutely. To St. Colum's Hall, and it was absolutely fantastic. And of course, the winner of that prize comes back now at another important time of shared cultural heritage, the Feast Day of St. Columba in June, and it will come back for the performance again. Will come back from London on the ferry to St. Colum's Hall with its own technician, and it's an absolutely fantastic story. And I know that Yamaha have already said that they are invested in this story long term as we plan to the future, and very exciting collaborations with other institutions which exist within the city and across the county of Derry and Donegal to support young musicians. I mean, I've been also in Derry this week at the Derry Feis, which is as another important cultural institution. It means so much to people throughout the Northwest, and I've been absolutely delighted to hear the wealth of talent which exists throughout this region, including so many young pianists and instrumentalists from Donegal. They were absolutely fantastic. And so what we are doing in St. Colum's Hall is not just about Derry, it's about this entire region and sharing with the whole entire world the beauty of this region. And I should say also just a special word of thanks to Tourism Ireland, Europe, who have supported us from the very beginning to be able to tell the story and also share the beauty of the place in which we live.
So you've been sort of in residence in St. Colum's, and you've had access to this fantastic Yamaha piano. It's all fallen into place for you. I mean, it's all, well, I'm sure there's been a lot of graft and hard work, but it just sounds now like it fell into place for you at the right time. Absolutely. I think the timing is absolutely perfect. And I suppose, had it not been for COVID, I know that it's been a very stressful time for everybody. It's been a challenging time. But had I not had the moment to stop and think carefully about where I should launch this, perhaps it might not have happened. So in my case, it has been fortuitous because I've had the opportunity to think about, this is an amazing hall. This is the hall, the people that mean so much to everybody. And also it's designed with acoustic properties in mind. It really is an amazing venue for live music. And that's absolutely fantastic. And the hall is slowly but surely going towards a state of a complete restoration, and I'm delighted that Le Fouet des Artistes is part of that story. And I have a big vision and a lot of stories to tell, so I'm looking forward to, in these coming months and years, to rolling out the plans. Tell us a little bit about your story. Switzerland, and living there for 12 years, working around Europe. How did you end up in Switzerland? Well, I suppose if you pull it back again right to the very beginning, I mean, the passion for singing and the great culture there is in this part of the world for singing. I mean, as a young pianist, I fell in love with the singing and all the opportunities I had. And of course, I was quickly then taken on with a scholarship to first of all in Manchester and then to the Royal Academy of Music in London. And I met all the right people, and I was very lucky to have people who supported me and they encouraged me. And then
then I got a place as an apprentice I applied for a place as an apprentice at the Zurich Opera House, which is really one of the best in the world. It's right in the center of Europe. It's a very wealthy opera house, and Switzerland has a real wealthy culture because, you know, throughout the entire history, it has played an important part of, you know, people traveling or seeking refuge and all that. So it means, you know, it's a fascinating place. And I got a full-time job there as a pianist and assistant conductor, and then that just led to more and more opportunities. So Switzerland has been a fantastically generous country to me, and it's also a very important part of my story. But the nice thing is that there's a fantastic bond of the shared Celtic history between Switzerland and Ireland, and that's a story which I want to tell also as we move forward.
Whatever about the story and whatever about the, I suppose, the background, it's ultimately it comes down to the music, and I'm getting the impression that you just love playing your music and bringing it to the masses, bringing it to crowds, and playing it and bringing other people into this collective to play great music for people to enjoy.
Absolutely. I mean, that's absolutely my passion. It's my vocation in life, like so many other musicians. And it's up to people like us also, but to communicate to everybody that there's nothing, this is elite music. Music is elite. Because as is football is elite, because it has to be good. When people go to a football match, they want to see good players,
yeah.
You know, but the football match is for everybody. That's the most important thing. And I say to everybody, what we're doing at St. Colum's Hall is elite because it's the best players in the world, but they're coming to this hall because to play with Le Foyer des Artistes because they want to share the music with everybody. So this is absolutely for everybody, and I want to share it with not just with people throughout the Northwest, throughout Ireland, but throughout the entire world, because we already have an audience of near on 14,000 viewers.
Brilliant. Well, listen, there's been 3 concerts, as I mentioned, to date. There is one more coming up in June, and I thought it was on the 9th. It's actually on the 13th of June, and it's called the Midsummer Concert, and tickets are still available for this. This will be the culmination of your residency in the hall. So tell us what people can expect at that.
Well, it's very exciting because the winner of this Concerto Awards from February, who is not only will he have the opportunity to play also in an engagement in Spain, which will be coming up in November, but he'll come back to St. Colum's Hall on the 13th of June to play Mozart's 9th Piano Concerto. So people will have the opportunity to hear this incredible piano, the CFX 9-foot concert grand piano with Le Foyer des Artistes in a spectacular program, and that will be the conclusion of our season.
Brilliant. Okay, well, that's coming up on the 13th of June, and people can get more information online. Where? You
can buy tickets at lefoyerdesartistes.com online, so you go to our website. It's only a couple of clicks away.
Okay, brilliant. Darren, it's been a pleasure, and the best of luck with the rest of your residency and also the big concert in June. And thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much.